Picture this. You're at the Thanksgiving table, stomach full, pants unbuttoned, and your uncle is giving a lecture about how turkey makes you sleepy because of that trypto something. Everyone nods like it's a scientific fact. Someone blames the cranberry sauce for being too sugary, and someone else claims the Pilgrims invented pumpkin pie. But what if I told you, most of what we believe about Thanksgiving food is completely wrong? Let's bust the biggest myths hiding under the gravy, right here on History of Food. Myth number 1. Turkey makes you sleepy. The classic holiday explanation goes like this. Turkey contains tryptophan, a sleep-inducing amino acid, so after eating it you naturally get tired. But if that were true, shouldn't every chicken salad and cheddar cheese sandwich send us into hibernation? They contain similar levels of tryptophan, too. What actually causes the drowsiness is the combination of carbs and overeating. When your Thanksgiving plate looks like a buffet folded into a mountain, your body sends blood to the digestive system and releases hormones that make you sleepy. That comfortable post-meal haze isn't biological betrayal. It's your body going, "I'm tired, boss. Please let me digest in peace." Another interesting thing, some people don't feel tired after Thanksgiving at all. In fact, some experience the opposite. A sudden burst of energy that makes them clean the whole kitchen or challenge people to board games. That difference is partly due to your metabolism and how sensitive you are to insulin changes. So maybe it's not turkey at all. Maybe you're just built differently. Myth number 2. The Pilgrims ate pumpkin pie. Pumpkin pie feels ancient, like it's always been part of Thanksgiving. But the Pilgrims didn't bake pie at all. They had no proper ovens in Plymouth and no sugar in large supply, so pie crusts were impossible. What they may have done is cook pumpkin by filling it with milk and spices over a fire, so it was more like pumpkin stew than pie. The pumpkin pie we know today came much later, in the 1800s, when ovens, dairy, and flour became common. Over time, the dessert caught on, eventually turning into the unofficial dessert of American tradition. Today, 50 million pumpkin pies are eaten every Thanksgiving in the U.S., which might explain why grocery stores suddenly smell like cinnamon the moment Halloween ends. Interestingly, pumpkin pie didn't become iconic because of long-standing tradition, but because food brands pushed it. Canned pumpkin, ready-made pie crusts, and recipe advertisements exploded in the early 1900s, making pumpkin pie a must-have holiday item. So yes, marketing helped invent Thanksgiving as we know it. Pumpkin pie is not ancient. It was advertised into existence. Myth number 3. Cranberry sauce is healthy because it's fruit. This one's tricky. Cranberries are naturally packed with antioxidants and vitamins, but canned cranberry sauce contains a lot of sugar, so much that it can rival soda in sweetness. That smooth red jelly cylinder may look innocent, but nutritionally, it's closer to dessert than a side dish. That said, cranberries themselves still have genuine potential. Scientists are studying them for possible anti-inflammatory effects and urinary health benefits. Raw cranberries, minus the sugar avalanche, are actually impressive little fruits. The problem? Most people can't eat them raw without making a face like they just bit into a battery. Some chefs now make low-sugar cranberry sauces using orange zest, honey, or fresh herbs, trying to bring back the fruit's natural flavor. It's a growing trend. People want traditional flavors, but in healthier ways. So maybe the future of Thanksgiving will be less sugary and more honest to what the cranberry actually tastes like. Myth number 4. The first Thanksgiving was a peaceful feast. The romantic image of Thanksgiving is a peaceful meal between Pilgrims and Native Americans. But historically, the first feast was a 3-day event filled with hunting, trading, and political alliances, not a cozy dinner with pie and polite conversation. It wasn't even called Thanksgiving at the time. Historians believe there was cooperation, but also tension. The Wampanoag tribe and the Pilgrims formed a fragile alliance that helped both groups survive a harsh environment. But that peace didn't last. Within a few years, the relationship deteriorated and conflict followed. So the holiday we imagine today is less historical truth and more historical highlighting. The Thanksgiving we know was shaped centuries later, especially in the 1800s and 1900s, when America wanted a unifying national holiday. In a way, the holiday isn't just history, it's storytelling. And storytelling is what humans do best. Maybe we didn't just preserve history, we edited it for the dinner table. Myth number 5. Stuffing cooked inside the turkey is safe. Stuffing looks traditional when it's cooked inside the turkey, but it can actually be risky. Poultry needs to reach 165 degrees Fahrenheit or 74 degrees Celsius inside to kill harmful bacteria, and stuffing often absorbs raw juices from the turkey before reaching that safe temperature. This means you might accidentally serve a bacterial casserole. Food safety experts recommend cooking stuffing separately and adding it later for the look. It tastes the same, and everyone stays healthy enough to argue about politics after dinner. A noble goal. That said, some chefs argue that properly cooked in-bird stuffing can be done safely, but it requires precise temperature monitoring that most home cooks don't perform. So, unless you're using a thermometer like a professional surgeon, maybe play it safe. Myth number 6. Sweet potatoes are a healthy side dish. In their natural form, sweet potatoes are highly nutritious, full of vitamins and fiber. But at Thanksgiving, they often show up wearing a disguise made of marshmallows, butter, cinnamon, and sugar. At that point, they're not vegetables anymore. They're dessert pretending to be vegetables so they don't get judged. That doesn't mean you should avoid them. Food is emotional, and sweet potato casserole has a superpower. It makes people smile. And honestly, that's also worth something. Just accept that this dish isn't exactly light. It's emotionally heavy, physically heavy, and probably mentally heavy too. In a twist, some chefs now make savory sweet potato dishes using garlic, herbs, feta cheese, or chili. They argue that sweet potatoes don't always have to be candy. They can be complex. They can be adults. They can grow up. But marshmallows do still taste great. So why do these myths survive? Because humans love rituals and repetition. Myths make food feel meaningful. They create identity. Food isn't just fuel, it's memory. And memory doesn't worry about perfect accuracy, it worries about feeling right. The truth is, we don't tell food stories to be precise, we tell them to connect generations. A grandmother doesn't need footnotes or historical sources when handing down a recipe, just a wooden spoon and a reminder not to overcook it. So, were we lied to? A little. But maybe that's okay. Myths, like gravy, help tie the whole meal together. They create stories, nostalgia, and traditions that bring people to the table. The food doesn't need to be perfect, the history doesn't need to be clean, and the pie definitely wasn't served by the Pilgrims. What Thanksgiving really celebrates is this: sitting together, sharing food, sharing stories, even the questionable ones, and remembering that sometimes the myths are what make the memories stick. If you enjoyed this video, please check out our other bingeable channels. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution.